Jet. I like Ark, but it made me a bit icky playing it. Yeah, a bit motion. I never get motion sickness, but it's weird. No, just moving around, just the camera. Yeah, exactly. Because I've got my my Oculus Rift, and that's fine. I think because the graphics are from years gone by, and my character seems very squat and yeah. No, but it's all about the gameplay. Yeah, I'm widescreen. Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing that for years.
Now, I imagine there's a lot of content there again, but I just couldn't get my head around it.
Yeah, and remember, I had quite a few characters. It's that long ago that my nephews were little back then, and I let them play all my characters back then. They're one's in college, one's in uni now. Well, that's how long ago it was.
Well, I've got a character called Queen Freddy who's got all pink armor and looks like Freddie Mercury. And I did a video for him as well, dancing to Loverboy.
Yeah, it's not really a game that I can see going back to.
Well, I like the PvP side of it.
Never tried that.
Very, very good. And then it got a bit... how Dark Age of Camelot went.
Right. Well, Dark Age of Camelot was very unbalanced.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant game to start with. In beta, it was superb.
Yeah,
when it was just Albion, and initially when it was Midgard, they were balanced. But the developers were playing Albion against us that's been playing Albion for a while. So they all went Midgard. PvP, we kicked their ass. But because we were better players, not better classes, they wouldn't accept that, so they kept tweaking it until that realm became unbalanced. Like they nerfed the cleric in Albion because they had a stun, and then gave Midgard speed, stun, hypnotize, all
everything. Yeah,
and it's like, well, how can you use that as an excuse for banning one class and then give it to the other two realms?
Yeah. It was the best game ever because I got XP for rezzing people.
Yeah.
You could have healed me. No, I couldn't. Sorry. Res.
It was good fun.
Yeah, well, what put me off going back to it was because I did a server switch when I wasn't playing, and some git has stolen my name. That's where I got Medivac the Healing Hoover from. And it was Svet, was it, who came up with the name. Is it Svet?
Right.
Yeah, because he was always at the whatever place in Albion making arrows and bows.
Was Svet Jet?
Oh, was it Jet? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it might have been Jet, yeah.
Oh, in that case, Jet gave me the name. And it was like, Medivac, and he went, the Healing Hoover. So.
Yeah, I think it was Jet.
I'll have to bring that up on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to go grab a drink, and then we'll start. We can start without Sorentar and he'll just ease himself in when he gets in it.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I love that game. Really did love it.
Yeah.
Doing the raids was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first games I fell asleep in. We did the dev run for Care City when they first opened to test all the keys, right. And I was up till about chuffing 4 or 5 in the morning, and I just face planted the keyboard.
That was one of the few games I used to enjoy PvP on because it was different.
It was tactical.
You'd zerg about, but I used to play the Infiltrator, and Darkness Falls was so much fun with an Infiltrator.
Oh god, yeah.
It's like you'd log out there so that when the other side got it, you'd sneak around and assassinate them while they were playing down there, and they used to do the same to us.
Yeah. Darkness Falls was a lovely dungeon.
I knew the game had been broken when they had was it Midgard's Bone Dancer? So it was basically some of the small army of skeletons.
It was, yeah. They've changed that now. No, have they changed it? No, they haven't.
And then I had a max level fire wizard, so I couldn't get any more damage than he was throwing. I hit him with a fireball, took 3/4 of his health away, and he life tapped it all back in one shot and killed another player. It's like your life tap can kill someone, fully heal you, instant cast. It's impossible to kill him.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, yeah, game's definitely broken. I gave up at that point.
No, that is bad. That I mean, I tried the was it a necro? It was a necro, wasn't it? What was the class called? Bone Dancer. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, on Albion, which surprised me. But yeah, they were quite a good class as well. I had one of those. I had one of pretty much everything really across all.
Yeah, I was the same. Just fill up your character slots.
Yeah.
I'm actually loving ESO again at the moment because it's. I've just got back in the question.
I've just bought the new expansion because it's half price at the moment.
See, I'm holding off because I tend to get them free off our Saturday night GM because he's a partner there. He's a streaming partner, so and he does these draws where he randomly gives out free expansions.
Right.
So
it can't be random if you get one every time.
No, it's not every time. At least he got Blackwood's, I think, last time. But no, it is random. But yeah, but I'll wait.
I think I'm missing one expansion before this, or one DLC. I'm not sure which. But I've got all the others, and I only really stopped playing because everyone else had.
Yeah.
And I was. Yeah, pickup groups were okay, but I've got a brilliant tank and a brilliant healer, but nobody to play with. And it's like I don't like playing with strangers. So I stopped playing it for a bit.
Well, I
get back into it.
I started my Lord of the Rings online again just to get spend my coins and all the add-ons I've brought out.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll buy that. It's good. I mean, I'm a lifetime member now till 2070 if it keeps going. But what they did with that was they just literally give you the coins to buy everything they bring out.
Yeah.
Rather than subbing. So yeah, it's like, I'll just buy everything again.
They've massively changed it, haven't they? All the races are now open. All the classes are getting some of the classes are getting overhauls. There's a new graphics engine coming.
It's fun, to say the least. But I tend to get to a certain level, and then I go, I'll try that character out, and then start from one, and then get it to that certain level again.
I've never got past the road to Weathertop. Ever.
Oh, really? That's where the big troll fight is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a scary fight when I first did that.
I've never been able to get past there. And I think for me, one of the problems is I haven't found a class in Lord of the Rings Online that I think is any good. For some reason, none of them have quite grabbed me.
Right.
And I don't know why.
See, I grabbed the captain because it's like you've got your pets, I call them, your soldiers to run around with you. But yeah, I do like that. But I'm kind of hooked on what we're playing at the moment. It's the Lawmaster.
No, tried that.
See, that was the character I started about 3 or 4 months ago, an Elven Lawmaster.
I played it very briefly at the beginning, and I was a shadow something, an Elven shadow something. That's all I can remember. But I didn't get far into it.
Well, I tried playing dwarves, but it just feels like running through treacle all the time.
Well, are we ready?
Yeah, let's go for this. Let's exterminate his village. Soren Tower. Oh, he's here. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
He looks different, but
He's looking a bit hawkish today.
yeah. I loved everyone's reaction to Guy saying that he'd like me to actually play against you lot again on Thursday. It's like, no. It's like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, you're mental.
I'm going to bring him in because there's a lot going on.
So your wish has actually been, well, Guy's wish has been granted.
Do you know, I was hoping we are going to try and sneak through there. Hello.
You still might.
Yeah.
I know that you're there. Doesn't mean that you can't sneak through.
Yeah, well, my whole plan was to sort of like, they killed one. I thought, oh, if I can, resuscitate him, we can say, look, we're just here to get through here, and they might pass us through, but everyone went kill.
Yeah, I made suggestions back when you were in the Svevneblin village, and you've got things that would have helped you from there, but you've not even thought about using them, sir.
No.
Yeah,
I was watching it and thinking, that's not how I do it. That's not how I do it. Yeah.
Well, the thing was when the one, I know different game, but when the one Darrow Savant escaped invisible,
Yeah,
that's when it all changed.
Mm. Yes, he played a game called Get Help.
He did play a game called Get Help, and he was moving. He was double moving every round while you were busy killing other things.
see, one of the spells I always choose as a caster is the invisibility, because I've been screwed over so many times in games that it's one I always have.
You have a Lantern of Revealing, as Solantar reminded everybody, and everybody forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not in charge of that.
Well, someone said you had it.
Nope, not me.
I don't know who had it then.
All right, give us a nod, Midi.
No, we're good to go.
We're good to go. All right, well.
This is going to be a similar thing, I think.
Last week you discovered the presence of things called minor mouths that manifest themselves on people, amongst other things. You finally met George Ayres, or caught up with George Ayres, where you spent a good month or so with George learning something known as the ritual of self-denial. He explained to you how it was something that could be used if you are ever blighted by one of these mouths. You could use it to calcify, to basically put the mouth in suspended animation, but essentially if you were ever kind of affected by one, it becomes very difficult for you to ever get rid of it. You also learned about the concept of major mouths, and surmised that perhaps that was what, given the teeth that you found, you kind of surmised that was perhaps what was under the dig site. But also you've had this thought that if the minor mouths manifest themselves when amongst the presence of the right kind of worship and activities to manifest a major mouth, I think you raised the concerns that perhaps Dalal, they were trying to raise a major mouth. Whether they were doing it willingly or unwillingly, you don't know, but you had this suspicion, though not validated, that Tashombe may have had one of these mouths on her body. And I think we left it last week with you deciding that at the least Tashombe needed to die in order to rid the area of this minor mouth and potentially set back any summoning of a major mouth.
That's correct.
Mhm.
We're going to hit this village, aren't we? So, is there any chance I can spend the downtime before doing that resting? And I'd just like to write a couple of letters in case anything happens to me.
You can spend as much time as you want. It's currently January the 2nd. It's the daytime January the 2nd, I believe. And it's up to you. What you do know is that there is a full moon on January the 5th. So yes, you can do that. In the meantime, Mr. Ralph, something has been nagging at you ever since you had that conversation with George Ayres, and you've finally managed to kind of put two and two together, if you like. And you've realised that in your readings of the cults of the Axumite Empire, which I believe you have read, yes?
Yeah, it's the one I mentioned last week. Is it in this? And
quite frankly, the DM wasn't really aware, and then has looked at some additional notes and discovered that there is something in there.
Right, okay, cool.
You can recall that there were mentions of cults known as Maw of the Mouth cults that sprang up along the Red Sea coast in the 5th century BC, indicating perhaps that one of these such cults gave rise to the site in Dalol. The cults had a resurgence in Lalibela in the 12th century during the Zagwe dynasty, but were destroyed by the Guardians before they could manifest a major mouth. So that's kind of in discussion with Matai and Muho'o. They kind of help you fill in some blanks about some information that you'd read in the cults of Axumite. So there were indications that perhaps these cults that worship the mouths have been around for a good 1,000 or plus years.
I'll pass that on to everybody.
I'm not sure how helpful it is for you, but you can do that.
Dushanbe's hut, for want of a better word, where they lived, was that in the centre of the...
Pretty much in the centre of the village, yes.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something else.
And the worst thing was it was brick rather than wood.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very, very difficult to find an African village that would work as a kind of a scenic map. So this hut here would be her hut.
I'm blank.
Although this is shown like the traditional wattle and daub kind of buildings,
it's all black.
Yeah, it's night time at the moment.
Yeah.
Salt brick.
Yeah, it's night time. They're all asleep. No lights on.
Yeah. Oh, you can't see anything, can you?
No. That's what all three of us have just said.
It was a wonderful description, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw
I can see a coal miner
around that looked nice, but
Is that better?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So this building here,
right, okay,
would be the salt brick building that you were escorted to. So it's not a huge, there are a number of mixture of tents and kind of traditional African huts here. It's not a huge place, as you can see, but it's big enough probably to hold a couple of hundred people. That's kind of what you remember.
Right, okay. From memory, I'll try and mark it out on the sand so that we can try and...
Yeah. Not a problem.
Now, the question is, well, not the question, but the point is, and I would speak to Alfred about this, his army experience, that we should have people going around the outside in case anybody tries to escape.
Around the outside?
Around the outside.
Yeah, we haven't got any buffalo girls to go. Yes, though she's the priority, really. She's the only one we've seen that's got a manifest, or what we think is a manifestation.
But what Ayers told us was that it spreads.
Yeah.
And and we've seen proof that other people must have or be close to it. Yeah, I never thought I'd ever see anything like this, but it's.
See, I think what we're going to have to do is try and kill her without killing any of the others, or as few as possible, because that'll just feed it, and then cleanse the rest of the village. Because otherwise, pain is just going to feed it, isn't it?
That's a very good point. That so if we walk peacefully into the middle.
Don't think that's going to happen.
No, we could if just 3 of us went in there.
They chased us out. Remember?
Yeah, but
they were coming after us.
They didn't. Yeah, because you did not participate in any of the ritual self-harm. They decided you were imposters and not really worshippers of the wind.
Well, they knew that at the time, didn't they? I think it might have been because they were in the middle of like a stabbing frenzy.
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah. Maybe if we wear moustaches. No, we're a different group of people.
Yeah. Outlanders that just happen to turn up again when they haven't seen any for God knows how many years.
Have you seen those 3 imposters we are chasing?
Yeah. I don't think I've got disguise to... I have got disguise. I was thinking, can I disguise myself as one of them? But I don't think I'd get away with it.
Where are you going to hide your gun? And your arm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to disfigure myself to try and fit in.
I'm going to draw a face on Ralph's belly. A mouth, sorry, a mouth.
Yeah.
I just want to give you a couple of other bits of information that Ayers would have given you over the month of, as you asked more questions and dug in, because some of this might be relevant. So as far as the 1924 cult goes, obviously, there was an inner circle of which he was one of the 3. The other one was Raymond Echevarria, and Samson Trammell was the second. But we would have told you that one person stuck out amongst all the people, famous people and stuff that were involved. It was an Indian woman. He gave you the impression that, first of all, he was quite smitten and taken with her, and very possibly just before he left LA, he may have inducted her into the inner circle. He tells you that the name, he can't remember the full name, but the first name was Savitri, Savitree. But couldn't remember the second name. And he points out, he was surrounded by attractive women and men, mentioning people like Olivia Clarendon. But it was this Indian woman that he kind of fell for.
How was that spelled again?
Savitree.
Okay, what kind of Indian? Native
Yeah,
American?
Native American or Indian.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Middle Eastern Indian.
Okay.
He knew nothing about the ritual, and whatever the ritual was, he didn't want to know anything about it, so he didn't pry and didn't ask you to divulge anything. And and at any point during that month, if you tried to tell him what happened, he was not interested. Purposefully would walk away if you refused to not continue talking about it.
Okay, we've not
He tells you that when they breached the inner chamber of the Dalol dig site, a greater mouth manifested itself on a wall.
Okay, so there's one already out,
Yeah.
so it can't do anything. So we don't want to go in there.
The majority of the cult members believed, obviously, that Golgoroth was somehow involved, but Echevarria told you that that was a lie, and that was, the identity of the liar being Golgoroth was something that was put out amongst the rank and file of the cult. But the three of them in the inner circle knew that it was called the Liar from Beyond and the Thing with 1,000 Mouths. And then based on what he saw inside the inner chamber at Dalol, combined with Akuna's research, Ayres considered it a virtual certainty that the Liar from Beyond is known as the Prisoner of Glaaki. Glaaki. The Maw of the Mouth was worshipped in Axum along the Red Sea coast during the 5th century BC. This is the bit that you can tie into the Axumite book. Resurgent of the cults during the Zagwe dynasty in the area around Lalibela in the 12th century. He will mention a little bit about Job, Edgar Job, or Job, or Job, or Job, however you want to pronounce it, Edgar. He remembers that when he introduced him to Echevarria seemed to take particular interest, especially in the mathematical work that Job had been doing in UCLA. That you also, when you mentioned Job, you noticed that out of all the people he'd been talking to, even to a degree, when he talked about Savitri, it was with fondness, but there was kind of like a sense of what could have been about that. Whereas with Job, there was a definite sadness and possibly even a loss of what was. And on that, you got the sense that George probably swung both ways. And now I don't know if in the 1930s they had a term for it, but he was clearly bisexual. And you can assume, well, not assume, you can definitely get from the conversation around Edgar that he and Edgar were lovers for a period of time. And if you talked about, that, Job was still alive and where he was, there would have been some concern about his well-being, about his mental health, and for a while, Ayres would have kind of questioned you about how he was when you last saw him, what his state of mind was, what he thought, etc., etc. So those are just So those are the other things that I missed last week to share with you.
That's what I spent points in last week. Explosives. Remember, we got explosives.
Yep.
Correct.
We were trying to figure out a delivery system, weren't we?
Yeah.
Wilderness cookies.
What else we got any hot air balloons, definitely.
Yeah, Hermes. Oh, they're probably getting it wrong.
Well, you probably don't, but if somebody wants to spend a point of preparedness, I may be I might be just say that CMC employees have one stashed away in their warehouse that they use for overhead surveying of the rail line. So yeah.
Okay.
I think that's something we could take over. Doesn't have to be during the day, does it? Really, we could kind of take it close, and then go over at dusk or something like that, where we can't be seen, but there'll be plenty of campfire.
Well, let's see flames that are under the hot air balloon, I suppose, but
yeah,
just be a start, then, won't it?
What it is. Yeah.
They might not know what it is.
And we need to make sure that the wind's going in the right direction.
Yeah, and drop dynamite on them.
Yeah.
On the main hut, and just hope that we don't miss.
Definitely.
I was thinking possibly sneaking in and planting dynamite on the building, but your idea sounds safer.
It'll take you a couple of days, though. You'll need to take the train back to Mercer Fatmare, talk to the CMC people, get the hot air balloon and bring it back. So I would say that would add 2 more days. That would, if you did that today, you're probably not going to get back till late on the 3rd.
We were right up against it, aren't
we? Yeah.
Was it the 5th, did you say?
5th for full moon.
The 5th is the
full moon.
Is a full moon. I mean, you're assuming based on the images that you've seen, that you saw drawn, and the rhymes and things, that there might be some connection, but you don't know.
I think it's got to be done. It's got to be done quickly, and rather than wait, it's better to be doing it beforehand.
Yeah.
And I just thought, out of character, hot air balloon did look pretty cinematic, to be honest with you. But
it would be.
It would be.
Yeah.
My original idea was going at night and get it planted quietly at night, and basically, we can put loose disguises on, can't we, and probably make our way in there.
So Alfred, do you have any more preparedness?
Yep.
If you spend up to 2 points and roll, and you get over 4. I will let you have a hot air balloon stashed away on the train. I think preparedness is actually a roll.
Do you want me to spend it instead? Because I've got some.
No, I've got some too.
Well, I've spent it, but didn't roll above 4.
Okay.
So I rolled a 3. So if you've got loads spare, then you might.
Yeah, let me have a go.
You might succeed.
See whether I can actually roll something above a 1, which I don't normally do.
Yeah, but I didn't this time. I usually roll well. There we go. It's your week this week.
So between
that'll be the one roll.
You were looking in the wrong place.
So between you can find things that you can pull together to create a hot air balloon. There will be a balloon, but you need to kind of go around the village of Kahlua to find a basket and be able to fit the heating system inside it as well.
Suddenly turn into an episode of the A-Team. Do we go into a carriage now and knock it all together?
Montage.
You go into a carriage and you knock it all together. Because I quite like the idea of you guys having It's quite cinematic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where we roll a 1 on the target and it drops in the basket.
Yeah. I ain't getting on no plane.
Yeah. Oh. It says it's going mad.
This is quite correct. It's correct.
This is correct. Okay. So what are your plans? How are you planning on doing this?
I'm guessing nobody's got flying or anything close.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? But I don't.
No, I don't even know what type of skill that would come under piloting.
I've
You're
got
the closest.
driving.
Piloting.
I do. I have piloting.
You got piloting, haven't you? So you
Yeah.
you know about winds and crosswinds and altitudes and that good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm very good at piloting.
So you're the
Have you got
pilot.
sailing as well?
But at sailing,
Yeah. I thought that'd be your kind of thing.
no. I've got riding and driving.
I don't think there is a sailing.
Yeah, I've got riding and driving.
Hmm.
In fact, I'm quite good at driving.
Boats don't appear to have had any love.
Nope, they haven't.
Unless piloting covers them both. Pilot
Possibly,
boat.
Yeah.
Or drive a boat. Depends on the type of boat, I guess. Yeah, so we've got pilot. I'm likely to be handling the explosives.
Yes, and if you do drop them in the basket, I'll be tying them to you and passing you out with it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking Ralph's probably going to be holding on to me to make sure I don't fall out the basket. And then if I do drop the explosives in it, he's going to throw me out the basket.
Oh, I'm sure I'd just throw the actual explosives out, not you.
Yeah, well, I'd be holding the other one.
Probably.
We can alleviate the chance of them landing in a basket by tying a long rope around your waist and lowering you down with it. Just dangle you over the house. You can put under the thatch roof.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
We're going to have to drop a lot of dynamite down there, aren't we?
Well, we've only got 2 sticks.
Is it just 2?
Just 2.
Sad time.
This is a lot of effort for 2 sticks of dynamite, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
we could get some fuel cans.
Oh!
That's kind of what the balloon looks like.
Yeah, so basically, if we drop it, it's literally kick it over the edge type.
Yeah, if we get some jerry cans full of fuel,
Pour it down first at the same time.
Well, no, drop it with the dynamite. So attach the dynamite to it. Drop it down. Drop it into it. So it's weighted. Then it's more weighted. Drop it onto the thing. That's a air fuel bomb then as well, or a fuel bomb. So it will get very messy and very deadly down there.
The challenge you have
on top of this
is there aren't any cars where you are.
And the train's
train.
Let's tie the dynamite around a log. How about, is there any metal around here, like small shards of metal from the making tools and things, wastage?
There will be,
we could turn it to a nail bomb.
Yeah.
A big old nail bomb.
Or we can take stuff out, we take screws out of the train, can't we, from the seats?
Yeah, absolutely. Out the seats, all sorts. Just get a big old, sort of like, there'll be some form of water canister, no doubt, fill that full of nails and bits of metal and all sorts, and that can be just one big pipe bomb, won't it?
Yeah.
Since we're nearish a volcano, is there obsidian about? They razor sharp and get that into the mix.
Again, the volcano is.
But it's erupted.
It's like a half-day ride or day and a half.
I'm just thinking it's erupted, has some of the distant fragments been sent or anything, any about? If not, then fair enough.
I think we can get plenty of metal from the train to put in there. I would have
You
thought.
could probably get, a half dozen to maybe 10 broken metal arrowheads, flint type stone arrowheads, and spears heads.
How much ammunition have we got?
Whatever you're carrying.
We've got a fair bit of ammunition on us, haven't we?
I'm not going to be getting rid of my ammo.
Again, you certainly have enough ammo for I wouldn't say a sustained firefight, but you have enough ammo for a firefight. You did.
I'm thinking more for the bomb.
Yeah, I know. You did use some though to defend the train.
Yeah.
How much extra ammo did we bring? Can you remember? I've just got like down.
On my sheet, I've got 145 ammo and 100 303 ammo.
That's a lot of ammo.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a box of 36 that I just clicked on the thing, so that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't actually have any extra ammo by the looks of things. But each of my shots actually hits, so I don't need as much. See that hot air balloon doesn't look like it's going to hold many people.
No, maximum 2.
Yeah. So
as long as the stuff you're carrying is not heavy. If the stuff you're carrying weighs more than a third of a person, it's one person plus the stuff. So one of you might have to do all this from the air while the others come in from the land.
I'm going to spend a point of preparedness so I
could probably take 2 of you plus firearm plus a stick of dynamite each and be able to do it, or 1 bomb, basically.
I'd say one person, 1 bomb should do it.
Yeah, and the other 2 cover via rifle, give them covering fire.
Yeah.
I think Joseph's gonna be the one dropping the bombs. Says he can fly.
I would have thought so. What we have to do is figure out locally, like you say, where we're taking off from.
Yeah.
With the wind.
I can probably put together the bomb. So I'm the only one with explosives now, as of last week. So I can craft it so that all you have to do is light it, or
yeah, I'm always smoking.
I suppose it's one way of checking which way the wind's blowing as well. Which way does the smoke go?
Yeah. How much ammo comes in a Springfield heavy rifle box?
In a Springfield rifle box?
Yeah, because I'm going to spend a point of preparedness because I've not put on my character sheet, so I'm going to spend a point to get one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It takes 5 bullets, but if you're talking about an ammo box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do the same.
Okay.
So I've got a box of 36 for my light weapon.
Yeah, I didn't even bring spare ammo for that.
Hold on.
I've not put it on my...
How do you not bring spare ammo?
I've not put it on the character
Shocking.
He's already said he's that good a shot.
What is the weapon?
I haven't missed yet.
Springfield heavy rifle.
Heavy. Springfield. Okay, hang on. How many rounds does it take?
5.
5.
So I would probably say there is going to be... No, it's not actually in the book.
No, I just noticed that.
It's not actually in the book. That's because, typically speaking, you don't need to worry about it. All right, hang on. Was it 0.35?
I'm just looking on there, trying to see whether I can see a number for it. It's an ammo can. World War One ammo can, 1903. Damn it! It was for sale. It's no longer for sale. Damn it!
Oh,
Is it just doing box of Springfield ammo? They're looking like about 20.
I would say 20 seems like a reasonable number.
that is cool.
That gives you 4 reloads, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a reasonable number.
Only a small carton of bullets, that. It's not an ammo box.
Yeah.
The ammo box probably has maybe 8 or maybe 8 boxes. An ammo can probably has 8 boxes.
So 160. But would I be looking round a can like that? I tell you what, I'll go for 40 lots, and that's two little cases of bullets.
Yeah. Okay.
Small boxes.
So ammo can probably 140. So yeah, probably 8 boxes, 160 is probably not unreasonable.
Yeah, I think a standard small carton is probably 20.
Yeah.
20 bullets in it. So 4 reloads. That's just one of the normal, small ones you pick up. They seem to be all the way back to World War II and stuff. So
yeah.
So I'm now out of preparedness.
Well, this
you
is
should just ask me because I've got it on my character sheet. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
was sensible enough to stock up and put it on my character sheet.
technically, I should have actually put it down, but
yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. On your 4, you've got it, no problem. Joseph, on your 7, you've got it, no problem. Typically, the target number is 3 to know if you've got something, unless it's something more complex or harder to find, and then I would increase the difficulty accordingly.
yeah, I spent still trying to get a hot
Step
air
away for a minute, one sec.
and failed. Yeah, so we'll cover from the ridge, the rifle. We've got a scope on the rifle.
If you do it at night, you don't have night sight, so that's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were aiming for
that's
dawn.
Oh, you could do it at dawn. Dawn is okay, Alfred. You're a military man, aren't you?
Yeah.
You would know from your time during World War One that when you attacked at dawn, it was the worst time to be attacked and the best time to attack, because everybody was just in that sort of semi-awakeness, and there was just enough light to see, but it was just too dark to really, it was all very close in combat.
And if we come from the east, it's even better because we have the sun behind our backs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you come from the land of the ice and snow, it's even better.
Yes, imagine that.
Is the elevation
Ah,
from riding on the back of Pegasus?
that's right. Or a
Big spears,
unicorn.
throwing them down. Is the elevation from that side as well?
It's fairly flat, but you're right. There is a ridge, and the ridges were, and I think if you remember, your guide camped out on a ridge.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering.
About
But
500 yards. No, it's not that far. It's about 250 or so yards from the edge of the village. It gives you a little bit of elevation, but not a huge amount.
yeah,
You're
I'm
maybe
just thinking.
talking 10 feet higher than the village floor,
Yeah,
but not
that's fine.
much more than that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking so that we can actually see targets rather than them all being behind buildings if they're attacking.
Yeah.
Alfred. I am Alfred. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise,
No.
we'd have to shoot Joseph. Just
Now,
so that
what?
he doesn't give away anything.
Yeah. What would I use to drop as a skill to drop it?
It is athletics.
Oh, that's fine then.
Athletics, and it has a target number. Your target, depending on whether you're trying to do this at point blank, so I would say when you're directly over the target, it counts as point blank. And if you're trying to do it with a bit of a toss behind you as you pass over it, then it would count as close. So the target would either be 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
Do I need to spend explosives to put something together so that?
Give me an explosives roll.
Well, since we've only got, we'll be using both 6 dynamites on this thing.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, so I might as well spend both points.
We're going to build a double bundle of dynamite with extra shell casings and fragmentation in it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to build? So something about this kind of size by about this kind of size, like a rugby ball kind of size thing that you can. Yeah, give me a roll.
Or maybe design one where the first one is just stick a dynamite that blows a hole in the roof, and then it's attached to a rope with a big one on that goes through the hole.
You're making the road harder and harder.
I don't think you'll need to make a hole in this structure.
Yeah.
I think if you attach it to sort of like something metal.
I've got a 4.
Over the space of the day, you put something together. And by the morning of the 4th, you have your bundle. No, by the morning of the morning of the 4th, you have everything you need. The full moon is the night of the 5th. So it's kind of this evening or into the dawn of the 5th for you to pull off your action.
I think we get a good day's rest, check everything, and then aim for the morning of the 5th, because we can't go tonight at sunset.
You may all take a 24-hour rest. Not that it gives you much. I don't think it will give you. It might refresh your explosives, actually.
No.
No, okay.
Oh my god, my stability's gone back up to 10. I wish.
Yeah. Mine's still a bit low.
Ralph's is still on 1.
Stealth, stability, sense trouble. Has anything gone back? I don't think it
I
has.
don't think anything goes up on. I think it's literally your health goes up.
Yeah. I was on full health anyway. So. Yeah. Oh, actually, I think what Outdoorsman's gone back up. can't remember whether I spent any or not, though.
Spend one and do a full refresh. So 24 hour.
All right. Sorry. So here's something that I've missed. When you take a short rest, if you are somewhere that is free from danger and horror manifestations for an hour or more, you may refresh up to 3 general abilities except for health, sanity, and stability. And
That's handy.
athletics, driving, firearms, fleeing, firearms, twice, piloting, riding, scuffling, and weapons fully refresh whenever you take 24 hours of game time.
Oh,
Since the last expenditure. So you couldn't refresh explosives if that's under the general pool because you only spent that in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
okay. But yeah, my firearms and weapons are back up to full.
Yeah.
But they were already full now, so I don't know when they actually went up to full.
They might have been refreshed anyway when you do a 24-hour refresh. Might not be obvious. But if you've got any other general abilities that are down, you may refresh 3 of them. So preparedness might be a general ability.
It is.
well, I just used mine, so I can't.
Yeah, you've all. No, I would let you do it. I'd let you do it because you would have done preparedness on the 2nd, during the day of the 2nd to gather all the items and things that you needed, and then you've used the 3rd to build everything and to put your plan together and rest and refresh. And so now we're on the morning of the 4th, so you could do preparedness.
How do you refresh?
Click on the name. Click.
Go into it.
Click on the name and there's an option, is there?
Yeah.
So refresh takes it back up to full, or just
Yes.
8 points? Right. Okay.
That's full.
I think the only thing I've got is psychoanalysis, which is down 1 point. I think the others have. I've got a cult, but you said general, didn't you?
Yeah, stability
Be,
is under general, but I'm guessing that's not counted.
What's that, sorry?
Stability is under general, but I'm
You
guessing
can't
that's
do
not
stability, health, or sanity. They're excluded.
Sorry, I refreshed flattery, but then I saw my stealth was 0, so I cancelled flattery and did stealth.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, stealth's the one I've done so far.
Yeah, so I've done firearms, reassurance, and stealth.
Just bear in mind, the only thing I will say is you can only do this once per session,
Right.
not every 24 hours.
Not a problem. Let's call it for tonight then.
The extra 3 pool increases can only be done once per session if you've had 24-hour rest. The other stuff is whenever you take every 24 hours of game time.
Okay, so I've done preparedness, stealth, and I'm either between sense trouble or first aid.
You may also refresh 2 points of health if you've taken any damage.
I haven't.
I don't think anybody's been damaged yet, for a while at least.
Yeah, I was, but I went.
Has
To
anyone
get
else
your
got?
stability back, you're going to need to find a way to spend some time with one or more of your sources of stability, which are listed on your character.
Yeah, that's why I was going to write a letter to my mother and to Janet.
Yeah, back in America.
Okay.
If that was some way of doing it, I think anyway. Just like getting letters, just in case anything happens to me, and just being at peace.
Yeah.
Putting everything into it.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Because all mine are in America.
Yeah.
Anyone got sense trouble apart from me?
I do.
Yeah, right. I've got it.
Right, we're all right.
Well, that can refresh, can't it? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm thinking sense trouble or first aid. I don't know which one to refresh, but I know.
Well, first aid, I've got 4, and sense trouble, I've got 2 left.
I've got 2 left in sense trouble before a refresh, and 3 left in first aid.
Yeah, I've got 3 first aid and 8 sense trouble.
So a couple of things on your letters.
Right. Okay.
this is not modern day.
Yeah,
You
that
are
would be.
not anywhere near a major city. So not until you get to at least Mersa Fatma and the Italian army do you have an opportunity to send your letters. For it to count as spending time kind of with your sources of stability, you would need to get the reply.
Ah,
If anybody else, it's like I'm the one with massive sanity. Who else has got sanity loss?
I do.
If you want to talk over your issues and discuss your relationships with your source of stability, you can talk to me, and I could try a psychoanalysis, maybe.
Correct, you could, yes.
Oh, yes.
Not sure how that works, but we could do that, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's good to get these things off your chest.
See, my stability is my wife, a fellow vet from the war, who's a drinking buddy, and George Sullivan. So that's character's husband. So they're nowhere near.
Yeah, mine's mum, my brother, and Janet, who gave us this mission.
Okay, so if you want to try psychological triage during the day, let's say, you can spend points from your pool to help another refresh spent sanity points. The spender takes no action and must make a difficulty 4 psychoanalyst test. If the attempt, difficulty 4. If the attempt is unsuccessful, the spender cannot re-roll for the same character until the character loses more stability points. For every psychoanalysis point spent, not included the point spent to make the test, the recipient gains 2 stability points. So if you had psychoanalysis 4, let's say, you could spend 1 point to add to your dice roll and 2 points to do the psycho talk, and then that would give him 4 points back if the roll was successful.
Okay. So
Not just 2 points.
how many of you? How many are you down?
I mean, I'm down to 5.
Frog.
So if I spent the point for the roll and then just spend 1 point to give me 2 back and put me to 7.
Do that. What's your maximum?
10.
Okay. Alfred,
I think
what
we're
are
all
you
10,
on?
aren't we?
I'm on 4 of 9.
Everybody's 5 down,
Well, I'm 7 down.
apart from you, who's 7 down. Yeah.
Get a mirror and talk to yourself.
Yeah, I'm all right. See, I most of the combat things I'm not likely to be affected as much as you two, because I've been in the war. I'm used to getting attacked.
Discuss with our Delaton.
If you do this early on the 2nd as well, I'll allow you to refresh your pool as one of your 3 pools that you could refresh.
Yeah, see, I'm happy with.
That's successful. So how many? Well, how many points
That
will
was
you?
that was 3 points used. So 1. So that's not successful.
No, it's not a success. His troubles seem quite deep, and I would also say at the moment his troubles seem quite deep, and the more he talks about them, the more it resurfaces the horrors that you've seen recently, and so you can't help but, every time you look at him while he's going through his kind of telling you his problems, you keep picturing these mouths on his head or his body, and it's just putting you off.
So it's not you, it's me. So, I'll end the session.
But if you want
I've never heard that before, but I've used it a lot.
If you haven't done, I'll let you do that.
I think it may come in useful, so bear with me. Oh no, I did refresh that one. Psychoanalysis. No,
You've not used it.
You've never used it, yeah.
No, I'd used 1 point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's already been refreshed.
All right, got it. Okay. So, are you pretty close to your plan then?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What is the plan? Walk me through it.
Well, are the villagers going to help us as well?
You have 2 guardians and 2 guardian, 2 additional people from the village that are allied with the guardians. So there are 4 of them. The guardians are melee weapon users, and
Yep.
the aides
I
are
have Brownings.
also melee weapon users.
Okay.
So, see, I'm thinking you fly over.
Sorry, the aides both have bolt action rifles.
Okay. So I'm thinking you fly over, drop the bomb, and we provide covering fire from the ridge. And the villagers only get involved if they start charging up and reach us. Then we're in melee at that point.
Well, my problem with this is we need to confirm that she's dead.
Yeah. Well, as soon as we drop that, odds are there's going to be attacks. So I could, worst case, I could try and sneak in. And verify it, but
No, we go in together or not at all.
well, you're going to have to land before we can do that anyway.
Well, that's true. But I can land quite fast if I just take all the air out the top.
That's not called landing, that's called
Yeah. But with style and panache.
Yeah. Odds are, well, it depends which way the wind's blowing as to whether or not you land our side or the other side of the village.
Well,
with the village in between us.
Yeah, I was hoping to use sunrise as like a cover. But if the sunrise is coming from... Sorry, if the wind's coming from the other way, I'll use the other way while you are in the sunrise.
Yeah.
And then that way I could... Early in the morning.
Doing it dawn.
Why are we doing it down?
Yeah.
It's the best time to attack. Worse for them, best for us.
Is the middle of the night not the best time?
No, because we can't see the targets.
That's all right. We don't have to. You can see. You'd be able to see that hut.
Yeah. But
Really?
we can't provide any covering fire because we can't see the targets.
No, we're doing... Alfred is the most tactical person here. He's been in the war. He's seen these things, and he says that attacking at dawn...
Which war was that? Is that the one with millions of men thrown over the trenches and killed indiscriminately?
But they did it at dawn.
With very little tactics. Okay, fair enough, yeah. Got it.
This is what I was told by the GM.
How many of your compadres came back? After I got to ask.
Off the top of my head.
I was never a fan of that tactic.
If you want to shoot and waste all the ammo in the dark, feel free.
I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna wait for that thing to go boom and then just sort of like, there you go.
Yeah, but then we don't know whether she survived or not.
Well, you'd find out sooner rather than later.
Dawn. I still say dawn.
Okay.
And I'm in the balloon. If I can see where I'm aiming for, it's going to be a damn sight easier. And these guys have been having orgies all night and cut themselves, so...
Yeah, hopefully they're half dead anyway.
So whichever way the wind's blowing, I'll be coming from the opposite side to where they'll be, so I can land where they are. If possible, if I can land. If not, I'll see you back in New York.
Now that's a problem. Weather. However, let us take a quick 10-minute break and then we'll play out this piece of action after the break.
Yeah, I think we'd be very much dependent on the locals for determining where the prevailing wind's coming from and the best place to take off from and whatnot.
Exactly. All right, 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes, right?
Cool.
Too soon.
Get a coffee.
too much information. Yes, I have to have this this willpower check when I see somebody, a woman trimming her bush in a garden. I say, I was like, yeah. Especially if you're walking by, say, I was like to see a woman taking care of a bush.
Have you said that to anybody?
Yeah, one.
Did it not go down very well?
No, she giggled. You got to know when to pick them.
Yeah.
Yes, those 70-year-old ones you don't do.
No, the 70-year-old ones probably don't have a sense of humour.
No.
Come on then. Don't look at me like that with those doe eyes to say, I need food, Dad. You don't need food. You've had food 12 times today because you're a fat pig. All right. Shall we do the boomy stuff?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. So,
So what's the date?
it is now now January the 4th.
January. I was thinking it should be November, really, shouldn't it?
1935. So I was looking for a skill that I thought you had, but I can't see it.
What, balloonist?
No.
It's not that type of balloon, a balloonist.
I can make a dog.
I thought you might have had outdoorsman, but you don't.
No, I don't, which is
I
weird for somebody like me who likes
It's
to be.
really weird.
Yeah,
That is really weird.
I'm on
Okay.
safari, but I don't like being outside.
However, Alfred has outdoorsman, and between them, your guides from Cthulhu Village can give you a 2-point outdoorsman pool for use in the vicinity of this area. So, first and foremost, getting yourself in a location where you can get the balloon up and drifting in the right direction needs an outdoorsman check, please.
Okay. Do you want to roll the 2-point pool one?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Or you can combine it with Alfred, you can combine the two.
I thought there was some max you could spend on something with 2 points.
Yes, it is. You're right. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
thank you for that. Yeah, it is.
so if we're gonna have a second check for something, then probably.
Okay.
Do you want to do it, or do you want me to?
I'll do it then. So 1d6 plus 2, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, 1d6 plus 2 is fine.
Nice roll.
When exactly are you thinking of doing this? Is it middle of the night, dawn on the 5th, sometime in between?
In between, I think. So I want to be going over the village at dawn.
Okay.
It'll give them time to get in position as well.
All right. So you launch a few miles sort of southeast of east northeast of Dalol village, and you climb up to a few hundred feet and begin to drift in that steady direction towards the village. You have the explosives with you.
I
Do
do.
you have anything else with you?
I have my rifle, my pistols on my belt. I have a couple of boxes of ammo on me as well, which are in my pants. One for my pistol and one for my rifle.
Okay.
I also have my lighter and cigarettes
Okie doke.
because I will be smoking while doing this.
Of course you will.
I'd suggest taking some food and water as well, just in case there
Oh
was
yes, some water and some food.
we're in the desert.
Yes, priority on water.
It's quite cool. So at the moment, your rest over the last sort of 36 hours, you've managed to shake off what effects of the heat. Most of you had mild heat stroke.
Mm.
You've managed to shake that off. Ralph and Alfred, what are you doing after Joseph sets off in the balloon?
Oh, sorry, I've also got my my rapier as well.
Okay.
Saber even.
Head to
Our position, our overlook position, I suppose. Overwatch
Okay.
position.
that's what I
So
was looking for.
it puts you on a ridge to the east of Dalol village. It undulates, so anywhere between 5 and about 12 feet higher than the village's ground level. You can get yourself down there. You can get yourself in position, along with the two guardian women, as well as the two aides. The two guardians don't have firearms, but they do have machetes, and the two aides do have standard bolt action rifles. And you watch and wait. I would like a pilot roll, please, from our good
Bet you would.
Joseph, to make sure that you are able to keep relatively on course with the balloon. Although you're at the mercy of the wind, you are able to, keep it at the right height, and after about an hour, you're kind of getting the hang of ballooning. So it's not too bad. If you manage to land it without crashing, I might be inclined to give you a dedicated 1-point pool for ballooning.
Oh.
Based on your experience. But we'll see where you get to. Okay. The sun begins to rise in the east. It's not quite behind you, but it's there or thereabouts. You're kind of coming across the sun, heading to that southwesterly direction towards Cthulhu. You can see the central hut. The village is fairly quiet. There are the odd guard that you can see. Hopefully, you can see the balloon on the map. Here.
Top right.
Yeah. And that's you kind of drifting in. And you can see there are a few women starting to move around, go to the pens of the goats and stuff like that, and chickens and whatever. But for the most part, the males that you can see appear to have, they've got bolt action rifles, and they seem to be kind of walking the perimeter-ish of the village. But at the moment, they're not thinking to look up. They're simply looking and scanning the horizon.
No, out of reaction, I'm literally going to duck down and then shake my head and go, why?
All right. The balloon starts to drift across and gets pretty much over the hut.
At which point I will have my lighter out. I've got a cigarette out as well. I'm
Yeah.
going to light the fuse and the cigarette at the same time
Okay.
and position myself ready to drop.
Okay. The next thing you know, you drop the cigarette over, and you've got the fuse of the bomb.
I can see that.
Ralph and Alfred, you spot probably about 200 feet up. Now, how high did you want to be? There's a question.
I want to try to make it as easy as possible, but not stupidly
So
low.
I'm going to say, Alfred, you made your explosive roll, didn't you?
Yeah.
What did you cut the timer for in terms of seconds?
1.
Would be tempting, but no.
No. They never liked Joseph.
You'd have to have worked out. You'd have had to have worked out the altitude you were going to drop it for the.
Yeah. So what altitude would you have told Joseph to fly at?
I honestly don't know.
100 feet? 200 feet?
I'd have probably said 100 foot,
Yeah.
but I don't know flying. I'd have said between probably 10 and 15 seconds on the fuse, because I don't know. I'm not expecting to drop it straight away. As he's lit it, it's not going to be as simple thing as just.
Okay. All right. So let's do this then. Right. I need another piloting roll, please. This will determine whether you are on the money or not in terms of the height.
Oh,
You just
Did
roll
you write a will before?
oh preparedness. Damn. Right, sorry. I'll add to that in a second. Same. That's good.
You're eyeballing it, and you think you are about 100 feet up. I mean, dropping something from 100 feet is what, 2 seconds max before it hits the ground?
No, it'd be longer than that, wouldn't it?
I would have thought it would be longer than that.
It's only 30 yards.
Right, 5 seconds. Depends on the weight, you see.
Okay.
It's not high enough to reach terminal velocity, so it's going to be.
2.49 seconds, gaining 24.45 velocity per second.
Yeah.
So about
2.5
3 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you cut the fuse for 10 seconds, you can basically light it and go 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, and throw it.
Yeah.
See, it's not so bad if it hits the roof and doesn't explode, and then explodes 2 seconds later. What you don't want it to do is, sort of like explode 10, 15, 20 feet above the roof, because then it does nothing.
Yeah.
Or longer, and then somebody comes out, picks it, and goes, "Oh, what's this?" and takes it inside.
Well, that'd be perfect. As long as you've wrapped it with her name and a little
That's
gift tag
right.
on it.
Oh,
Yeah. Amazon Prime logo on the front.
if you've played Borderlands 2, like she's got with the teddy bears, stick it all in the bombs, and yeah, that would work.
Okay, Joseph, give me an athletics roll.
I certainly can. I need to add 1 point of piloting back on.
To hit the target is 4.
Oh, it's down the fire. It's down the chimney.
Yeah. Roll a
down
D6
the hole in the middle.
plus 7. Hold on. D6 plus. Let's see. 2 sticks of dynamite. Okay. D6 plus 10. No. Yeah, that's fine. Jesus Christ. Okay. The balloon drifts lazily over the hut. Alfred, through the scope of your rifle, as you're kind of tracking it, you think you can see a small black dot come falling out of the balloon. It hits
Little
the
voice
roof,
going, wee!
it bounces once and starts to roll. Then there is a flash. Everything in the vicinity takes 12 points of damage.
That would kill me.
The balloon continues to drift lazily over at 100 feet. You watch as the flimsy basket is buffeted by the explosion wave. Now, would there be any shrapnel up at 100 feet?
I would have thought so.
There'd be shrapnel, but it'd be going directly against gravity. So
It wouldn't be that bad.
what speed it's at, I don't know.
And this solid metal basket that we made.
Okay. There are a number of dings and zings against the bottom of the basket. A couple of pieces penetrate up through, but with not a great deal of force.
Yeah, he lands with shrapnel in his backside.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the balloon.
Immediately, you can hear screaming as a couple of the nearby huts get blasted by the shockwave. I mean, this is, to put it into perspective, a fist is 1d6 minus 2 for damage. A standard rifle is 1d6 damage, right? This is 1d6 plus 10. This is a big boom. Artillery is 1d6 plus 14 or 17, I think, right? So it gives you kind of an idea. And it's the combination of the bullets, the 2 sticks of dynamite, and the shrapnel that you've put in here that gives you that big boost. The hut catches fire. Bits of it go everywhere. There's loads of screaming and shouting.
I'd like to watch as I drift by to see if anybody comes out the hut.
Nobody's coming out of the hut.
If they did, I'd turn around and run screaming, I think.
There is a let's have a look.
That's when it's when she comes out of a thing over there. She's just been to the shitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was having some other man nibble her in a different hut.
That's right.
Oh, that was lucky.
There is panic. The next thing is you can hear and you can see this guy and probably this guy and then another soldier, this guy, start to point their rifles up and start shooting at the balloon.
Yeah, because they would have looked at the hut and saw me right above it.
So let's have a look. They can all have a go, but they're at a bit of a distance. So let's see. First one comes in. He's going to spend 1 point of his pool. Oops, no, that's wrong. Ignore that. All right. There is a zing and there is a hiss as a bullet slices into the balloon, and there is a distinct sound of air being evacuated from the balloon. The next one.
A small hole, don't worry.
A rifle shot zings off the basket. The bullet kind of penetrates through the basket, but loses all momentum and kind of topples out and lands at your feet.
I'll look down and...
Okay. It's fine. And then the third one, it unfortunately hits you in the arm
Again.
for 2 points of. Hold on. Yeah, for 2 points of damage.
Which arm? Do you want to roll a left or right?
Sure.
Okay, so 2's right.
Okay.
Left arm. So I'll clutch my arm, and as I'm doing so, I'm going to cut the weights away and try and gain some height. The sandbags.
Okay, give me another pilot roll.
Oh, I'm going to have to do this blind. I'm going to save one. Oh!
Okay. So let's do this. You're now up at 125 feet. Alfred, Ralph, what are you doing?
Try and pick off one of the shooters.
Okay, bear with me a second. I'm just looking at ranges. I don't know how far out you can shoot. That sounds silly. Okay, so you're actually probably too far away to shoot them. Your effective range really is 100 yards. They're about 250 yards from you.
Right. Okay.
But equally, 250 yards, that's what, 300. So. So you are probably, in reality, you're about 40 yards up. Okay. All right. Did you want to do anything? Do you want to stay where you are and just pray that he gets out of this? Do you want to start advancing on the village?
We'll have to advance the village, really, aren't we?
Okay.
Are we looking at wiping out the village, or that was the original plan? But
Yeah, we don't know who's
kill
been
her
infected.
first.
But I'll leave that choice. I think we agreed to wipe out the village.
I mean, you're looking at probably 100 souls.
Yeah.
Majority of them will be non-combatant, but you're going to end up, you will be murdering women and children if you're going to wipe out the village.
I thought the main idea was to get her and that mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know who else had the mouth as well, because I mean, do you remember that guy who had nothing left to give, and they carried him into a different room?
Yeah, he was in the building.
What about the kid that was with the dog? Did the dog have a mouth?
No, not that you could tell.
Okay.
But again, my worry was that these things grow, and if now that she's gone, are they going to continue doing this and get it worse? Because they're addicted now, aren't they?
I'd say hold our ground and see if any of the shooters follow Alfred and Joseph, and pick them off if they get within range.
Okay.
Or if they get, even if they're out of range and still shooting, as long as it's not too far out of range, take a shot to deter them.
How far away are we?
You're about 250 yards. In order to make an effective rifle shot, you'll need to close to 100 yards. So you're going to be sprinting 150 yards. It's going to take you, what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds? You're on
Oh.
sand.
Scope make any difference?
It just helps.
Okay, that's fine.
Doesn't make distant difference to your range.
Right.
At long range, it will reduce. It will lower the penalty for shooting at long range by 1. At point blank range, it will increase the difficulty by 1.
Yeah.
If you don't use it at point blank. Okay, Joseph, you cut the ropes and breathe a sigh of relief as you start to climb upwards.
Is there a chance of taking a little pot shot?
You,
Mind you said that I'm cutting the ropes, and no, I won't be able to because I'll have a knife in my hand. I'll be sawing vigorously.
yes, at the moment you're cutting ropes. Okay. So he's falling out of range, I would say. He is also kind of falling out of range. Okay. Another shot comes up at separate villages. He's going to spend a point. That's really weird. There you go. Right, that's better. Okay. There is a. Let me reroll all that again. Ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that. Right.
We can't see it anyway.
No. Another round zings. You can hear it whistle, but it misses the balloon and the basket quite a distance. Then there is another one who's still out of range. Yep. And then another one still out of range, but that one isn't. So he will and then a final one again just zings off the basket and kind of goes off into the air somewhere. The balloon.
And none of these villages within range.
No, none of these are in range. You're kind of off the bottom of the map somewhere.
Right. Okay. I wasn't sure where we were in relation to these. That's fine.
All we've got to do is wait, and if they pursue, shoot them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The balloon drops by about 3 yards, 10 feet.
Start flapping your arms.
What do you want to do?
Are there more sandbags to cut?
There are. Yep, there are. Roll a d6. There are 2 left. Each one that you cut will give you a height advantage of a further 5 yards because you're fighting the hole in the balloon.
In which case, I will cut them both vigorously.
Okay, that will take you up to 47 yards in height. All right. You're just watching still, or are you going to start advancing?
No, I'm watching because
Yeah.
I'm on containment. So
Okay.
Yeah. If he starts dropping faster, then I'll advance. But
If I get a chance to make a pot shot, then I will. But keeping my height is the important thing.
Sorry, no, that was wrong. Okay, you drop another 2 yards, approximately 5 feet this round. you're also starting to slow down a little bit as you kind of you're losing a bit of momentum from the hole. All right, let's have a look. What you two notice is the guards are starting to follow the balloon.
Okay.
Okay,
We need to get into the best ambush and ambush positions, and probably not be next to each other, so we can get them in crossfire.
Yeah. So
Don't forget, you've got 2 of the rifles as well, plus 2 melee.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be that for every sort of 10 yards it's drifting, it's losing between 1 and 2 yards of height. So by calculation, you've probably got about 400 yards of travel before it's going to hit the deck. Unless they put more holes in you.
Mm.
Okay, so you cut. You two are starting to run to try and intercept.
Yeah. I'll try and get further because I'm guessing I've got a better athletics than you, so I'll be able to.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going forwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely, I'm not. No. I'll get in. I'll. If there's another ridge, I can move sort of like to the left so that we've got crossfire. But I'm not giving up the high ground.
Yeah, I'll move.
Go on, Anakin.
So that I'll go to the side that gives the crossfire.
Okay. So the one directly in front of you, Joseph, as you kind of peek over the basket, you can see him raise his rifle and he shoots at you.
I will be returning fire.
Yeah. What's your hit threshold normally? It's 3, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so it's 4 because of the cover. It catches you again. 1 point of damage as the round kind of zings and just nicks your body.
I'm going to say it's probably my shoulder as I'm trying to get up to shoot.
Yeah, this one's going to try a shot, but he's at the furthest extremities, so he's going to spend 2 points. Okay. You hear another hiss as another shot goes into the balloon. You'll now be decreasing at 4 yards per turn. So 3 yards. 3 yards per turn. Okay. He's out of range. So he's going to move to there. He's going to continue to track. Okay. Next set of actions. You will drift 2, but you will go down to 42. What are you doing, Joseph?
Returning fire with my rifle.
Okay. So this one here would count as being in he's exposed. So he doesn't get any cover, which means his hit threshold decreases by 1. So that means you need a 2 or better to hit him. And he's at close range. So that's the second one. That's the second box. Take a roll.
Yeah, so that's a +1, isn't it, for my... Oh, is that damage?
No.
Close range +1/+1.
Yeah.
So I roll my firearms +1, don't I?
Yeah, and then any spend you want to make.
Right. Well, I shouldn't need to make a spend, should I? So, how do I add a +1 on here
Right, so go to close, just click close range. Don't worry about a +1 because that
Oh, I
the
see. Yeah.
stick threshold is easier.
Yeah.
And then if you want to spend anything, just spend.
What? I got 1 plus a 0.
Yeah, because you're not adding anything and you're at close range. You're not at point
Oh,
blank range.
sorry, I got that completely wrong.
All right, what did you want to do?
I wanted to add 1 at least because I thought it was rolling 1d6.
Yeah, you are rolling 1d6. But so where you've got the plus at the top next to your firearm, light fire. Did you roll the wrong thing?
Yes, I rolled direct from the Springfield heavy rifle.
You didn't roll that, did you?
Didn't
Yes.
click on the +1 to start with.
So click on the +1. Ooh,
Yeah, +1, and then I did. It says dice +0.
yeah. So go to that's damage.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
So if you want to make a spend, click on the plus next to the dice +0.
I just click my firearms and push that. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, you still need to roll. Yeah, okay.
I need to roll.
No, we'll use the 6 that you rolled for your damage. Okay. So you take a shot and
Oh, I see. Sorry, I select the +1 in my damage and then add 1 dice to there.
And add
Right, like
add
that.
1 if you want to. Yeah, if you want to spend a point, you can +1 to the dice, and that will reduce your firearms by 1.
So why is it slotting a 0 there, even though my close range has a +1? Oh, it's damage, isn't it? Sorry, ignore that.
It's damage. It's not target number. So the target was you probably your target was 2. You got a 7, so you hit, and you did 5 points of damage. Let's have a look at how much damage the villager can take. Okay. The shot slams into the villager and he staggers, but he's staggers backwards, heavily wounded, but still on his feet.
He's obviously not devout enough, so he's not bled himself enough last night.
Yeah. I'll duck back down.
Okay.
Well, praying it makes me to the edge of the village at least.
Okay. Alfred, you still running?
Yep.
Okay. I'll take you to 39 feet, 39 yards, sorry. Still about 100 and something feet up, but you are coming down quite steadily now. He's going to advance. He's going to advance. He isn't. He is going to kind of hide in a hut. Injured.
He's just said, "Fuck this for a game of soldiers."
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, he's not stupid. He's not going to fire at you and when you're firing back.
That's fair, and nobody wants that.
That's right. Nobody does.
Ralph, you notice the central building is on fire. At least one of the other nearby buildings is burning. 3 of the guards have started to... You could just about hear the commotion. There's yelling, and they're kind of milling around the damaged and burning buildings, trying to figure out if there's anybody still alive.
They're just trying to figure out if Gandalf's just landed in the middle of it.
That's right.
Okay, so let's have a look. Another shot goes into the balloon. Now coming down at 5 yards per round, if you like. So for every 10 yards you move, it's descending by 5.
I need to get down before this thing smashes into the floor.
starting to come down quite quickly.
Is there anything I can see in the in the oh god, in the basket that's heavy I can chuck out? Oh, the anvil. Can I throw the anvil over? There's always an anvil.
There's always a rifle. The rifle is heavy.
Oh,
You're
God.
heavy.
Yeah.
I was going to say the heaviest thing is you.
Yeah.
Coming down on that, you'll still make it 70 yards.
Yeah, but at what speed?
Well, you're either going to go down quicker if you descend it, or you're going to go down at the speed it's going. It's only going to get quicker. You can't slow it down really, can you? Because you're fighting that anyway. So for me, all you've got to do is try and keep it as slow as possible, and that means riding it out.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll do what somebody told me once. But if you're in these new skyscrapers, that if you're in one of those elevators and it's about to hit the floor, you jump.
Jump. Yeah.
That's been disproven. You actually lie down.
That's been disproven as well, though. Basically, everything just goes through you.
Yeah.
All your internal organs.
Okay, so how far are these?
I know what I'm going to do.
I think what you can do is you can look for something soft to jump into once you get to a certain height, and make sure that you're at the last minute you're not in it, like you did, dismounting from a horse or something like that. But
I'm going to put a parachute on and jump from 10 meters.
You need to forward somersaults and do a superhero landing.
That's right. That works.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another bullet comes through the basket, losing all momentum. But it kind of comes through the basket and very slowly tumbles out and kind of hits you on the side of the head.
I need to start wearing a basket for armor.
Actually,
but it won't. Yeah, the basket's giving you 1 point of armor, basically.
You've now got 2 bullets in there. Throw those over.
Yes. Stop trying to fill up my basket.
If the bullet's going up, it's pushed the bullet up, the basket up a little bit.
What are you, Joseph? What are you doing?
I will take one final shot as I'm coming over the edge of the village.
Okay.
And I'll aim for that chappie there on the.
It's at long range. It's at the next range up now.
Gotcha.
It's still +1. I mean, for your rifle, it's +1 all the way up to long range, which is really, really cool.
Right, I'm gonna do that there. That's better.
Nice. Okay, so again, you take aim. It's hasty aim, but it's good enough to hit the guy, and you see him you kind of hit him sort of shoulder, and he kind of spins a little bit, and drops the rifle that he was taking aim with, and you watch him kind of scurry out of view into one of the nearby huts.
It was more than instinct than style when I shot.
Yeah. Alfred, anything you want to do?
Try and find some cover to basically give him cover when he actually lands. If anyone gets close enough, I'll shoot them.
Okay. So it appears now that there are only 2 armed guards physically chasing and taking pot shots at the balloon. The balloon moves. It's going 5. So it is now down at 34 yards height. What's that? 90, 102. So 102 feet. Still quite high. Alfred. This guy is just about in range.
She'll take a shot.
Okay.
Deter them from chasing him. So that's long range.
It is long range.
Good shot.
Nice. 5 damage. Okay. Yeah. The target was slightly higher because of the distance. 5 damage. 1, 2. Okay, no, that's not what I want to do. That takes me down to there. Okay. There is a zing from your rifle, and you watch through the scope with satisfaction as it thuds into the into the chasing guard's leg. He stumbles and falls to the ground, and immediately starts scrabbling around looking for his rifle and trying to figure out where that shot came from. He's going to move up. You're going to move off the map. You're now under 100 feet. Okay. He will crawl out of sight, and he's chasing. So this guy is the last one that's in your view, both Joseph and... So Joseph, you can shoot him at near range, close range. Alfred, you can shoot him at long range still.
I missed. I think.
Oh. Was mine a 2?
Yeah, both of you miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, what's his reaction? Let's have a look. Nope. He seems stupid enough to carry on chasing.
Good lad.
I can take you all.
Yeah.
We are down to... Yeah, so what's that? So you're down to about 70 feet up now, 24 yards. The ground is kind of rushing towards you. You don't have a lot. This guy takes a pot shot at long range at the balloon. He uses his final... final point of... He's at close range. Hits the balloon. There is a tearing sound as the balloon starts to split. You are now dropping at 10 yards per round.
Right.
And your movement is pretty much non-existent. It'll be five yards this round, and then none the following round.
No, that's fine, because what I'll be doing is rifle is going on my shoulder. I've got my pistol in its holster still. My saber's on my belt. I'm grabbing the longest piece of rope I can find, and I'm going over the side.
Okay, we'll come to that in a second. Alfred, this guy is still at long range.
Okay.
You can take a shot. Nice. That's just what... no, that is what you need by 1. Only 2 points of damage. You kind of clip him.
Hopefully it'll deter him.
And he kind of stops and starts looking around, spots the glint of your scope in the early dawn's light.
Okay.
And you can kind of see him in your scope. He's looking between where you are and where the balloon seems to be coming down, undecided what he wants to do. Ralph, you're probably 100 or so yards back up the dune, sort of more towards this side of the village, just keeping an eye on the central area.
No, I'm just watching and containing.
So with you, you have one of the guardians and you have one of the guides. Actually, I suppose one of the guides, I forgot about those. One will have come with you, so he will take a shot as well. Let's see what he does.
So we find out we've got a sniper with us.
Well, I want you to scope the other way around and blind him with sunlight.
No, he can't. He doesn't have long range, and he's still at long range. So he's with you. just crouched, looking around in case anybody charges you close range. Next turn, you're going to go a little bit, but you're going to go down to that. You're starting to fall. Now you can do your rope trick. Give me an athletics roll, but your difficulty to pull this off is 5.
Nice.
Like Errol, Bleeding Fear.
Doddle.
Flynn even.
You go down head first.
Yeah.
Just run.
Describe how it looks to both Ralph and Alfred.
They'll see me dive, and it will. I'll have the rope in one hand. I'll have my arms spread out as I dive out of the basket, which the momentum will then swing me under the basket as I turn and start running, in a sense, when I hit the sand. And that's what I want to do, if possible.
Okay. Roll a d6. Give yourself 4 stability.
Oh.
As you effectively, it's called a confidence roll. You pull this off with panache, and you time it so that the rope that you're holding is probably a 10, 15 foot rope. And you time it to that as the rope with you held in your hands out taut as high as you can get your feet. And so what you'll see is as he swings down, the basket's, the act of you coming down and the unbalanced nature of the balloon, you pull it down with you so that you're able to hit the sand and carry on running with the momentum. Let go of the rope and then keep running as the basket crashes down behind you.
I wanted to hold on to the rope and pretend I was on the moon and jump really high.
But in doing so, pulling this death-defying stunt boosts your confidence, and you, as I say, you gain 4 stability. That said, though, the guy behind you takes a pot shot at you.
And hits you in the ass, just ruining the moment.
The sand spurts around you as a rifle bullet hits the sand and sprays the back of your legs. Where you touched down, he fired at that point and just miscalculated. Alfred.
Still long range?
Have you been moving at the same time as firing?
I'll be trying to keep up with Joseph so that he doesn't basically outrun me, so to speak. So that I'm supposed to be protecting him effectively.
Okay. So I'm going to put you at near range. You're about 40 to 45 yards away. That hits 7 damage. He's exposed because he's out in the desert now. So the target you needed was 2. 7 damage. He staggers and collapses, hitting the dirt, hitting the thing, and just twitches for a second or two, and then lies still.
Yeah,
the balloon has crashed down behind you.
I'll head over to Joseph to make sure he's okay.
I'm still running. I'm not looking back because you don't look back at explosions.
Yep. The explosion happened about 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds ago. Probably a bit longer than that, about a minute and a half ago. Ralph, from where you are, they've grabbed buckets of water from the well and they're trying to extinguish the fire on that main hut. There is a lot of commotion now. There are women, other men, older men, children, all sorts, just clamoring and crying out. And you can see in that, a lot of them are starting to kind of throw themselves to the ground, and you can hear that distinct wailing sound of mourning that's kind of coming.
That's
Do
the
you know,
sound. That's the sound I wanted to hear.
Yeah, for one moment I thought you were going to say throw themselves on the fire trying to put it out. Yeah.
No. And there doesn't seem to be any sign of any of the guards coming after you. And Joseph, Alfred, another sort of 50 or 60 yards, you kind of meet at a triangular sort of shape, get down behind the ridge, and you sort of track back to where the rest of the group are. A further ridge back, probably another 200 or so yards, are staked out camels where you came in. And over the rest of the day, you can make your way back to Cthulhu, and yeah.
I just want to put a rag over my 2 wounds.
As far as you're aware, you have destroyed a minor mouth.
I'll treat Joseph's wounds before we start riding.
First aid check on him then?
Can I kind of assist him, or is there assist in this, or
Not really.
no?
I think they've done okay.
First aid 6. Let's have a look.
You've basically just gone, yeah, it's not still in there. Pouring some whiskey on it.
Yeah.
And that's a bandage around it, and that's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then rub some sand on it.
Let's have a look. First aid 63. Probably nowhere near I was. No, I was 1 page too far. Oh, 63. What was your pool at? What was your health at?
My health was at 7.
7. So, how many points of first aid did you use?
2.
2. You can regain 4 points.
Oh, thank you. And I'll stretch my arm out.
Somebody else does first aid on you. You gain 2 points for every point they expend. If you do first aid on yourself, it's 1 point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could only spend 2 points anyway, so.
Yeah.
Is it a check per wound or a check in total after?
Just check in total. We don't track wounds. The
Yeah.
wound tracking is more cinematic than anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You arrive a few hours later back at Cthulhu. What are your next actions?
I think we should go talk to
Matayam Woohoo.
Yeah.
Wooho, rather. Weird name to pronounce. Yeah, go and explain what we've done, and
they were with you, so they saw what you did.
Yeah, well, those 2 were with us.
Yeah, they're the guardians that were with you. There were those 2.
Right. Okay.
They were just the machete wielders, and then you had 2 aides.
Right. Okay.
But
I was going to say.
They confirmed, based on what they could see and behaviours, that it was most likely that you destroyed, you killed Tashombe, and you destroyed the minor mouth. With no minor mouth to accept the sacrifices, it will make it more difficult for a major mouth to manifest. And as such, they're confident that such an event has been set back many months, if not years.
I think the thing they need to concentrate now is getting those people away from the volcano because it's proximity, isn't it?
Yeah. And
So I'm hoping with the the leader going, they're not having that direct mouth influence, that they'll be able to somehow get some influence themselves within that tribe and get them out of that proximity.
The Guardians are positive in terms of that outcome. They're not confident it will happen quickly, but on the basis that if it was the mouth that was acting as this wind that was speaking to them, which for all intents and purposes, Ralph, you suspect that was the case. Without that influence, you do believe that a portion of the people in that village will go back to their nomadic lifestyle.
Of course.
The Guardians agree that they will keep an eye on things over the next few months, and if necessary, try and get outside help, maybe from the Italian army, to intervene if something bad happens again.
So let me get it right in my own head. So the mouth was actually giving them the dreams, wasn't it?
Yes.
And making them do what they did. Yes.
Correct. That is what you think.
Because I thought the mountain was something to do that as well.
Well, the major mouth was under the mountain, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's where the temple was, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So because they blew that up.
It was the second crater where the dig site was, is where the major mouth had manifested itself, according to Ayres, not in the volcano itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you take the train back, maybe a day or so later, maybe later on the 5th, you can. It's about I think we said it's about a 12 or so hour journey, right? Maybe a little bit longer. You can kind of contemplate what you've learnt. Are there any outstanding things that you want to follow up here in Ethiopia? If not, where are you going?
Yeah. Kuno we need to find, don't we?
You need to find a Kuno.
Yeah.
And where did he go to?
Nearby.
Yeah.
He'd gone to Axum.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right, spotted near Axa. Yeah.
It's quite a way away.
And that was only a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
2 weeks
That's
ago.
north of the border, isn't it? Or south of it? Which way is it?
If it's closer than America, I was thinking close by, relatively speaking. Yeah, so I think he's the only thing around here we need to follow up on, isn't he?
I think so.
Okay, well, you take. Let's have a look. Where's my notes? You drop the train off, and you get passage across the desert. You can, if you wish, source, certainly for a 1 point credit score spend, you could probably source a truck, like an army truck.
Yes, indeed.
With some gasoline and stuff to get you a little bit quicker across country.
We've got a pool, haven't we could use.
Yeah.
Have we? I just spent a credit point anyway, so don't worry about the pool.
Right, okay.
Got loads of money.
Yeah, I think we're down to 1 point of the credit pool. I'm not sure.
Well, save that for when I'm not there. If I'm away doing something else, you need to do that.
I'm not sure that I added the money that we found from the PI that I had a beat up and dropped.
By the time you arrive at Axum. It's now about the 12th of January. Even with the car, it takes you it takes you a day to get back to Mercer Fatma. It then takes you the rest of that day to negotiate passage or get the car, the truck. And actually, the local captain, he'll sell you the truck for a lower fee that requires you to take some supplies to the army, and he gives you the actual location of where the army encampment is and where Bartolo is. It turns out that he has been sent to help the Italians recover some artifact. And he's acting as a sort of a specialist.
Well, we've got Joseph Indiana Jones Westmore with us now, swinging out down ropes and they're recovering artifacts and things. That's parts of your alley now.
It definitely is. I need a floppy hat.
You need to find someone that waves their sword at you, then draw your gun and shoot him.
Yeah. Let's go back to that village.
Yeah, they'll get out the rifles and shoot you.
Yeah.
It turns out that the army are acting under the auspices of the Italian Cultural Ministry. And Acuna has become, as I say, the specialist there. And they are currently gathering, cataloguing and storing a number of Ethiopian cultural artifacts, including the obelisk of Axum. And when you arrive at the camp and you drop off the supplies and you ask the quartermaster for his location, he kind of points to a tent that's sort of a little bit out of the it's different to the strict kind of regimental army tents that you see in the camp.
But the obelisk in Axum was the resting place of the Covenant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Covenant is in the
Cathedral of Mary Zion in Axum.
Correct. Is in the Axum. Yeah. You find yourself not too far away from to the north of Axum.
Yeah.
Weirdly, this is about the right time when things get moved around, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think did I say it was 1937 that Tinker was based?
Something like that.
Yeah, but round about now, I saw a history program the other day, one of those things. Anyway, whatever. And yeah, it was the Ark of the Covenant allegedly was here, and then it was raided or somebody moved it, stole it in real life. Well, if it is real life, it's probably a Mickey Mouse flask.
Oh, actually, I said 12 today. No, it's only 3 days. It's the 9th of January.
Yeah. So how long did it take to drive over here then?
3 days.
Right. Okay. So if we take turns on the driving, we could have had a rest at least.
Yep. Yeah. You can have your 24-hour rest. You can't replenish any of your general pools outside of what would replenish. I think your firearms pool should refresh.
No, it didn't.
Should do. Refresh your firearms.
I've decided that nothing refreshes.
24-hour refresh. No, didn't do anything with the firearms. I'm still down to 1.
Okay, refresh your firearm pool.
That's ominous. We're going to be choosing our way into the Italian army camp.
Yeah.
The quartermaster at the Italian base kind of, when you ask about Acuna, he points you out to, as I say, points you out to you a specific tent, and in sort of broken English, he sort of says, "He angry, things not going well, we stuck."
Okay, what's he looking for? That's he stuck on?
Obelisk. Not where it was expected. Under guard by rival organization.
Okay.
We have no jurisdiction to attack. So we wait. Bureaucrats. You follow his directions over to the tent. Inside the tent, as you approach, you can hear a slightly drunken Spanish man, half talking, half yelling. But there doesn't seem to be any reply.
Any in
It's-
language we understand?
It's between English and Spanish.
So what is he saying? What can I hear him say?
Can you speak Spanish?
I can indeed.
Basically, he's ranting about bureaucracy and something he's calling the. Bear with me a second. Something he calls the. Emporium of Bangkok. So he calls it the EBA, basically. Which is
Well, the Emporium of Bangkok Antiquities.
correct.
Oh, that was a good guess.
That well identified.
So they're the ones that's stopping him getting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would Bangkok? Anybody in Bangkok be interested over here?
Yeah. Ralph, have any ideas how those two cultures mix?
None immediately that I can think of.
Our Asian lady. Oh, she was Indian, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, even the symbols that we found, nothing's really pointed towards the Orient, really, did it? We have Celtic and things like that, so I don't think we had anything
No.
Oriental there. So how on earth are they involved?
Maybe it's just about the gold, but Bangkok's one of the goldiest places in the world. Well, we can find out off Bartolo.
Yeah. Well, as usual, I'll let you do the talking. Let's mention I probably don't understand half what he's saying.
I want to stride into his tent with an slight air of arrogance, but also oozing with confidence.
Okay.
And in Spanish, I want to say, Bartolo, cum. How are you, my friend? How are you doing? How
So what
goes
you-
the dig?
You see a greasy, slightly balding, black hair tumbled down around a rotund, cheerfully red face. Dressed in khakis with a loose white, well, was white at once upon a time, but is more kind of stained and grimy now. Shirt and silk scarf. Sat at a table, poring over what appears to be a map and other documents, with a large tankard of ale sat nearby. And as you kind of call out his name and sort of, he kind of he turns around very surprised and kind of looks a little bit surprised at you, and in his alcohol infused fuzziness he says, yes, my friend, it's been a while. And he stands up and comes to embrace you.
I will put my left arm out to grab his arm and then thrust my hand into his hand rather than embracing him. Because he seems like the sort of person who's got a pocket with that handkerchief that he will dab all over his head.
Exactly. Yes. As you get close, his breath dinks. I mean, there's halitosis and then there's Bartolo. It is not
Atrocious.
pleasant at all.
I'm going to try to ignore it, and then but I will turn my head away and look with a pretense of looking around his tent. And I'm switching to English now. It's a nice place you've got here. Well provisioned.
It does. The heat is insufferable though, and with that, he pulls out a silk handkerchief and kind of dabs it across his forehead. The slight alcohol fugue kind of washes away for a second, and he kind of looks at your two companions stood at the tent entrance. He says, I have to say I'm unsure where we met, and your name is on the tip of my tongue. And he kind of, you know how people fish to see if you'll say your name. He's kind of fishing like that.
I'll go New York. No, it was not New York. Was it Los Angeles? Oh, we met with our good old friend. Oh gosh, Georges.
Oh, there's a name I've not heard in a while. He says, "You're a friend of George's." Oh, we must have met in 23, 24.
That sounds about right. Yes.
You must have been a student at the university at the time.
Indeed.
But you're not that old, are you?
No, but I was a very young student there, and yes, I had a maths tutor there who introduced me to George. But anyway, that's nothing to do with that really. But no, how are you doing? How is the dig? And why? What's his problem with? Did you hear you say EBA?
Yeah. They've taken to camping at the northern Stele fields, which is just and are currently investigating several of the obelisks. It's just made it very difficult for me to obtain the pieces.
I see.
Kind of put lodged a complaint into the authorities in Axum. It's just slowing things down.
I see. Have you got pieces already?
No, I've not been able to get there, and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit, and he says, "Old Mussolini is getting a little bit anxious. He wants these goods. He wants these curiosities and trophies.
Yes, it seems to be all the rage at the moment. Have you? I mean, you've got the back of the Italian army here. Can't you just nudge them across?
We don't want to start an international incident.
You-
These fellas from Bangkok just don't know what could happen.
No, you might as well wait a few years anyway before that starts. No. Yes, no, I've heard things too about these Oriental chappies.
So, my friend, what can I do for you? Please sit. Drinks.
Please, yes. Just
And
what?
he breathes all over you at that point.
Yes. What do you have?
Well, I've got wine and I've got beer.
I'll just have a bottle of beer, please, Bartolo, and something for my friends if they wish.
He gets you a bottle of beer. What do you two want, if anything?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Yeah, I'll take a beer.
Okay. Sit. So, what brings you here? It's a long way from home. A long way from America, my friend.
Oh, it is,
A
yes.
long
Yeah.
way from the university.
No, we're just catching up with a few friends. We've just been down to a little dig site. I think you were there a few years ago.
Dig site. Dalol?
Yes.
Why did you go to Dalol?
Why would we not?
Not a safe place.
Really?
Yes, that was cursed from the day we arrived. I damn George and his ideas of digging there. I damn my own interests in the occult as well that dragged me there.
That's a completely different take to what we had on the place. But no, go on, please.
Well, he kind of sits back in his chair and he takes a long swig from his beer. He says, 1923, maybe that's when I met you, actually. Ers contacted me and invited me over to the university. He was instrumental in putting the dig together, securing the money. I seem to remember the name of somebody. Echevarria, I think he was called. Paid for almost all of the expenses, which I found odd because he didn't seem to have any relationship with the university, and yet, according to Ers, it was university funded or university sanctioned. Anyway, I'd become interested in an ancient text that had been acquired by the Universidad Complutense, where I worked, the Revelations of Glaki. It had been translated before, but I did new work on the fragment concerning an ancient deity concerned with orgiastic ritual. These passages, properly interpreted, suggested an ancient focus of worship at what I believed was Dalol. Naturally, I was interested when George came to me about the dig, and I was vindicated when we arrived and we unearthed the temple exactly where I expected we'd find it.
Please go on. This is most riveting.
Well, I think it was June of 24 that we arrived in country. Organised supplies, hired guards, porters. We were on site at Dalol by, I think it was maybe mid-July, maybe early August. It only took us a few months to find the outer walls buried under the earth, but in the end, they were right where the revelations said they'd be. The reliefs on the doors that sealed the inner complex were different from other works from the same period. They were protective, it seemed to me, Most intriguing was that the doors were sealed with a linchpin that looked like a stone dagger. Ayres arrived around that time and he was very interested in them. He insisted that we send the dagger back to Echevarria in Los Angeles. We did, of course. I still have a picture of it. Hang on a second. And he scurries off and he starts rummaging through some paperwork and he comes back with a picture of a
Ralph's ears perked up when the stone dagger was mentioned.
And the image matches exactly the stone dagger that you have back at the aeroplane.
What an intriguing little thing.
It was about that time, just at the cusp of our success, that everything slowed to a crawl. Our labourers began to have misgivings. The CMC suddenly became unreliable in relaying our supplies. Bandits destroyed critical equipment. Each day begat more. We would spend weeks, sometimes months, at a complete standstill. It was 26 by the time we finally managed to get inside the inner complex. From then, just a few short days to the sanctum at the centre of it. What can I say about that sanctum? There was, I don't know how to describe it. There was a mouth there, a statue of one, I mean, carved in detail like you've never seen, made from some rock we hadn't seen before, probably quarried in the brine fields before Christ, boiled off now, fallen beneath the crust. A giant screaming mouth, all tongues and a dozen kind of teeth and lips that were, well, obscene. It was just after we discovered the mouth that things seemed to get even worse. Ayres and myself had gone to Mersa Fatma. We were arguing with the CMC representatives, trying to get them to deliver supplies they had promised when the eruption happened. That was the last I saw of Ayres. He decided he was going to go back to see what was left of the site. I decided I would have nothing more to do with it. And that was the last time I saw him. No idea what happened to him. Maybe he got there, was beset upon by angry labourers. Maybe he got burnt in lava or fatal sunstroke. I mean, it is the hottest place on Earth, on the planet, after all, and it was a miracle we'd survived as long as we had. I went back to Spain next 5 or 6 years before end of last year when I was approached by the Italians to help them with this little project.
And you seem to have things very well in hand here.
Well, beyond not being able to get access to the obelisk, yes.
But then men like us always have these little problems we have to get around.
Indeed.
What were you hoping the obelisk is, or what was Mussolini hoping the obelisk is going to do for him?
Well, he wanted as a war trophy. Of course he would. A symbol of the glories achieved by his fascist regime. But me, there's something different. I'm sure of it. Here, and he pulls out another photo and he shares it with you. It says it's a shame the obelisk was, well, we think it's about 1700 years old, the oldest one in the northern fields. It was toppled on its side, shattered into 5 parts during the 16th century, either during a war with the Imam Ahmad Dragan, the conqueror, or due to an earthquake. We've never been sure. There are several false doors at the base of the obelisk. And I believe that one of them conceals a real entrance to a chamber hidden within the obelisk. At least, from everything I've read in the Revelation of Glaaki, that's to be the case. There are a number of other stellae in Axum which were used to mark underground burial chambers, modelled on the obelisk, but the obelisk's purpose was different. I believe it was built as an earthly pillar to serve as a foundation for the wall behind which the fabled prisoner of Glaaki was imprisoned. The hidden chamber within the obelisk is the chamber of silence, more literally translated, the room in which the mouth is shut, an earthly model of the prisoner's unearthly cell. And it kind of passes you another photo that shows the field of obelisks and stellae. So I was hoping to get time, but I've been waylaid by the EBA and their claims to the obelisk. I'm waiting at the moment for a decision from the government to let us move it.
What claims have they laid upon it? Because, I mean, this is...
That they have a right to study it before it is taken away. How they got to know that Mussolini was chasing it, I don't know.
These days there are many mouths and even more ears.
Indeed, indeed. And how ironic when we think that this may well be the... hang on. There we go. Everything got dark. How ironic that this might be the prison of the prisoner of Glaaki, the liar with many mouths.
Mm.
The book Revelation of Glaaki. Do you have it here?
I don't. Does he have it here? I don't. But is this something you're interested in, my friends?
A friend of mine here is a scholar. Thought it may interest him.
Oh. That's...
I've been doing some research into this area.
Oh. Interesting.
I'm assuming I can pull up some appropriate quotes from the...
Yeah. Do you have archaeology, anthropology, that kind of thing?
I've got a point in archaeology, point in anthropology.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of extol your virtues, your credentials, if you like. You establish yourself as somebody that is fairly certainly somebody who's learned and somebody that can speak sort of, well, I say his language. You know, you can talk shop,
Mm-hmm.
and you generally talk shop for the next half an hour, impressing him. And after sort of half an hour or so, he smiles. He says, well, my friends, perhaps we should have some food and continue this conversation tomorrow. I've got some interesting things that I'd like to share with you, friend Ralph, and get your views on it. Come. Let's go over to the mess tent. The soldiers should have finished by now.
We'll get some grub.
And at that point, before the next major revelations, we will call it a night.
Still tries to throw you to the wolves there, but it's the where the big bad guy is supposed to live. And
Yep.
it's like,
Yep.
yeah, we need to find some information about it.
Yep.
And I
Just for
can't find
Neddy's
it.
benefit, Ralph has just spent half an hour or so talking shop, establishing his credentials. As he's done so, what you will notice is that Bartolo's demeanor changes to be more friendly. It was kind of alcohol befuddled confusion with you, Joseph, but now Ralph is kind of on the same level and on a par there, having a conversation. He's basically said, let's go over and have some food. I've got some more things to share with you in the morning. And that's where we've stopped.
Fantastic.
So I can prep the next bit of this so that you can have the information and decide what you want to do with it. Next.
You
That's really good.
from orbit.
Yay, more beer.
Was that session 11?
That was
Session
12.
12, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of the Revelations of Glacky?
Don't think we do.
Can't remember if that was in your book list.
Let me have a look.
I don't think it was.
No, the name didn't sound familiar. I made notes when you said he was a prisoner of Blackie. That was the first I had remembered hearing about that. And then when you said the Revelations,
No, you didn't.
the
You
two
got the
came
cult.
together.
The Axemarine Empire, Rift and More, Fishing in the River of Stars, the German one.
And cigarettes to help yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
you don't have a copy. So it's unlikely you've seen that book. I'm just seeing if I can figure out where you can find it. That might be a book you want to track down when you get back into somewhere where you can get hold of it.
What was the name of it again?
Revelations of
Glacky, Glaaki.
Well, I think that'd be something that quite possibly I would use. Yeah, I'd probably kind of use. I'd either go looking for it or use my occupational benefit for that.
Okay. Cool.
But that would mean back in the States as opposed to here.
So, technically speaking, with that break, you have concluded the main part of Ethiopia. So you may take a full refresh.
Say it ain't so.
As we roll into Act 2, Chapter 3. The
Ability's up to 8. That's all I wanted to see.
What was that?
Stability has gone refresh. So,
oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Cool. So hopefully.
And 2 points to spend, isn't it?
And 2 points to spend, yes.
I shall think on those two.
I just got 2 critical errors encounters with installed packages. 89 compatibility warnings detected with installed packages.
I've just kicked us all out of Foundry back to the main login page because I forget to do it if I don't. Because a friend of mine uses my server to run Masks of Nyarlathotep tomorrow night.
All right, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that something hadn't gone wrong with the server.
No.
And I was doing missing it. That's fine.
Something Steve's playing in. So on top.
So what was that?
Jerry's running a Masks of Nyarlathotep game. He's been running it for 2 years now, and Mr. Morris is playing in it.
Oh, nice, excellent.
Yeah. So apparently it's really, really good. An old friend of mine from work is also playing in it that I introduced to Jerry. So apparently he's really enjoying it. So.
What system?
Cock 7, I think. Call of Cthulhu
Right.
7.
Yeah. I think that's the edition I've got.
Yeah, it's the latest version. Decent version actually.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, it's a nice system.
Although I
Very
might
nice.
have 5. It's been a while. Not sure.
Yeah, somewhere down there.
I'm hoping at some point that our Saturday night group will be playing this, if you can see it.
No. Casting Runes.
Casting Runes, it's M.R. James books and things. It's a Mythras version of Cthulhu, in a sense.
Nice.
But we're doing superheroes at the moment, which is quite cool.
So my question to you though is,
I've not played a superhero game for ages.
No, never played one.
No, we're playing Destined.
Used to love playing Champions.
Oh yeah.
Champions and Dark Champions using the hero system's awesome.
it's probably one genre that I haven't got, but one genre that having played and run the Marvel superheroes game back in the 90s, really enjoyed.
See, I collected comics for so many years. I've got hundreds up in the attic, but never did a role-playing game with any superheroes.
Gosh.
Well, I don't think a lot of the systems were great. I know Champions and Hero was good. Champions was great. The way you could make the power, the powers up and stuff like that, and how they all work together. It was a fantastic system.
Well, that's like we're using the Mythras system, which is it's Destined is the actual book, the superhero book, and then that is really well worked out for all the powers and how you can use them, just like you said there. It's impressive, and it's bloody.
Yeah, Hero was. I think GURPS do a decent Hero. I can't remember, but Hero was very similar to GURPS. It's generic. I used to love that system. But the way you could make up the power matrices, like whether it was elemental based or mutation based, and you put it all together and spend different points and put disadvantages and how your pools are all pulled together, it's brilliant. Used to love it. I made up so many. I used to just make characters up for that. It was such good fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing a pre-made at the moment, which is a bit a cross between Rorschach and Daredevil. But I've just made my own one up. Again, same thing. You can spend just days going, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. So yeah, very, very good, very fun.
Is there a hardback version of it?
Destined.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be. It's if you go to drive-through.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, standard colour book, $44.95. But they're quite expensive to get them shipped to here, aren't they?
There should be a UK or a European. Let me go to Mythras's actual homepage. There we go.
Yeah, don't forget your pounds just tanked as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's where you find someone that you know in America that can buy it and then send it over for you.
Well, do you know what, Loz?
Oh, you go on a business trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.